the parliament is too unwieldy or hulky a body to deliberate effectively the issues that come up before it. The function of parliament is complex, varied, and voluminous. Moreover, it has neither adequate time nor a necessary expertise to scrutinize the legislative matters that also come up before it. Now, question comes in our mind that is too obvious, that then how Parliament delivers the expectations of people of India. I hope certainly many of you have guessed that the topic which we are going to today have a depth talking about particularly in this session. So obviously the parliamentary committees, those act as the watchdog of executives, as well as they are known as a mini parliament. So in what context and with what scale they are having played a role till so far since our independence. So we are going to have a insight about the parliamentary committees. In today's discussion, we are going to discuss about the departmental related committees. So let us start this session's topic, that is parliamentary committees. This departmental related standing committee that has been in the news because this particular standing committee on law and personal tabled report on the parliament, and so that it is going to be very important for the GS paper 2, that is Indian polity, governance and international relation, as well as for the prelims, since UPSC now has been asked various questions related to the parliamentary committees in the previous years. So if we talk about the structure of the parliamentary committee, so it can be broadly divided into 4 categories, that is A, B, C and D. The financial committees, departmental standing committees, ad hoc or select committees, and the 4th one is administrative committees. So financial committee, if we talk briefly about these financial committees, then first is public account committee, then estimate committee, and the third one is parliamentary financial committees on public sector undertaking. So PSUs, PAC and estimate committees. So generally these are the important committees, those looks after or scrutinize the matter of expenditure and the finances. So obviously for that sake they are known as financial committees as well. PAC committees in India that began its journey from 1921, estimate committee that is from 1950s after the John Mathai recommendation, and PSU that is public sector undertaking, that committee particularly from the 1964 after the this. So we can see the chronology, and PAC committee, which is oldest parliamentary committee in our parliamentary system in our India. So these are the important 3 committees in the matter of finance. Now departmental standing committee is another committee which is playing the committees are playing very important and vital role to deliver the that role and responsibility of the parliament. Ad hoc committees are the committees we are today obviously going to discuss in this session, this particular committee. Ad hoc and select committees are also important. Those are temporarily in nature, and these committees are constituted for the very particular purpose. For example, Swan Singh committee in 1976 to to recommend and give the idea about fundamental duties. Those are also adopted later on. And so this is one of the example of the ad hoc committee, as well as like committees on scrutiny of the Bofors case, the Bofors Hoitzer case. So these are the committees that is no made or constituted for the particular purpose. For example, recently for the committee on the MP lads or member of parliament local area development scheme. So to look after this MP lad scheme, so particularly ad hoc committees were constituted. And the administrative committees are to look after the day-to-day businesses, or another is housekeeping. So these are the administrative committees uh, to look after the matters those are confined to the parliamentary affairs or parliamentary the transaction of business affairs are concerned. So to recommend to examine these parameters or any possible changes or requirements, then administrative committees are constituted to give the recommendations or to identify the issues related to the parliamentary businesses. So that is for the administrative committees. For that particular reason they are there. Now departmental related standing committees. So if we try to gauge or try to find out the genesis of this particular departmental related standing committees, we can find that since 1993 these departmentally related standing committees came to existence. Through the jointly Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabhas, they adopted the rule to constitute DRCs. So before that there were no such departmental related standing committees in India, and the particularly this was the idea behind departmental related committees are to make Parliament's effective control over the executive and give the directions whenever the requirement arises. So that is what the Parliament ultimately we know that we have adopted the parliamentary system of government. So ultimate accountability is the onus of the delivering the services, the expectations of people lied over the our legislatives or our legislature. So that is how, and but the implementation of the any scheme, the policies are soldered upon the executive. So this is something how to check and balance the mechanism what we adopted in our country, that is parliamentary system of government. So to actualize, to realize the effectiveness of this parliament system, for that matter this departmental related standing committees that come into existence, that concept become found significance in country. Now next is since 2004 when the this year, when earlier there used to be 17 departmentally related standing committees, but since 2004 it increased to the 24 and covering the jurisdiction of all ministries and departments. Obviously all the departments and ministries, those are under the central government. They all covered under they have specific departmental related standing committees. So the composition of 31 members, this is something factual for the prelims perspective, that 21 from the Lok Sabha and the 10 from the Rajya Sabha. Earlier no, till 2004 there used to be 45 members, 30 from the Lok Sabha and 15 from the Rajya Sabha, and that till the 13th General Assembly elections, when that took place in the 1919, and that completed its tenure in the year by 2004. So since 2004 now its composition that confined to the 31 members. And what is important here, the membership based on the nomination only. In the case of PAC or Public Account Committee or Estimate Committees, there are the provisions of elections, that is uh, uh, through the proportional representation of single transferable vote. So that is something unique about the departmental related committees, that nominations are the basis for the membership, and these nominations, for the example, if members is to be nominated, then it is a responsibility or a duty of the speaker or presiding officer of that particular house. For the Lok Sabha, that is speaker, and for the Rajya Sabha, the chairman or chairperson. So that is the mechanism of membership or nomination. The term of office not exceeding a year. Obviously, all the parliamentary committees having tenure of only a year and not more than that. And but the recently departmental related standing committees have due to COVID that 1 year term extended. So that is again in the news. So please look into these news, and remember the 8 committees serviced by, obviously, the entire parliamentary committees. These departmental committees are aid and that supported by the secretariat. For 8 committees, those departmental committees are serviced by the Rajya Sabha secretariat, while rest 16 are serviced by the Lok Sabha secretariat. So these secretariats are also playing important role. Just for the understanding, that 8 committees, those are serviced by the Rajya Sabha secretariat, the Committee on Commerce, the Home Affairs, Human Resource Development, Industry, Science and Technology, and Environment and Forest, Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture, the Health and Family Welfare, and Committee on Personal Law, Public Grievance, and the Justice. So we are today going to have some discuss about this particular 8th committee, that is Personal, Public Grievance, and Law and Justice, because it's this committee particularly tabled its report to the Parliament. Before that, rest of the committees, 16 committees, are serviced and supported by the Lok Sabha secretariat. So no need to, like rural development, for the labor, railways, these are the committees among the 24 committees. Now the function of committees, this is important for the exam point of view. The first important that function of this committee is that consideration of demand for the grants. So what is this? Now we need to understand it. The consideration of demands for the grants. So every ministry, grants, that is funds are important. Funds are backbone of to run the ministry or the department to deliver its duties. So funds are important for, obviously, for every organization to function. But in India, we know that the funds are cannot be directly withdrawn from the treasury, but it is through the proper channel. Obviously, the first thing that avail the fund is the budget. That budget provided by the Ministry of Finance. But the same time, suppose any budget given to particular ministry, let's say the Ministry of Environment and Forest, having they provided with some purpose of the fund to implement the schemes and policies that under the jurisdiction of this particular Environment and Forest ministry. But meanwhile, if the need arises that, or if there is shortage that fund to execute its or implement its policies, so obviously they will go for the extra demand. Or suppose in the budget, suppose any inadequacies are found, that is related to the fund dispensation through the budget document, then these committees, departmental related committees, will demand for the grants, and these committees will make the demand in the Parliament, not the officers or secretaries concerned in the particular department. So this is the proper channel, the way, the how these demands for grants or the specific fund or additional funds are if required, then these departmental committees will come into the picture, and they demands in the parliament, in the either the house, obviously that is in the Lok Sabha. And that is the other procedure. We are not going in depth in for that particular matter, but that is important, that demands for the grants are made through or by these departmental committees, not that directly the departments are involved and they are asking for the funds or grants. The examination of bills. So various bills are put provided, or they idealized or formulated, or they framed, then these are put forwarded, or these are examined prior to proposing or prior to recommending, and these committees, specific committees, are again they works for the examining or scrutinizing the bill, whether that is fulfilling the requirement and need of what that country and its affairs. So that is examination of bill. Consideration of annual reports. Every ministry or departments, they generally they tend to publish the reports, like forest and environment ministry reports, like other reports like Ministry of Law and Justice, the Ministry of Tribals. So these reports are considered, or they given now specific look or a reading by these committees, and to understand the functioning of particular ministry and departments. So these committees, departmental related specific committees, again they work for the consideration of annual reports. And the fourth important duty or function of these these departmental committees are that consideration of national basic long-term policy documents. Recently we we know that National Education Policy 2020, that vision document that put forwarded. So Ministry of Education and its departmental related committee had a great job to formulate and that idealize the vision that what the ministries wanted to, or what the government of the day they wish to. So that is national basic for the long term policy documents. So whether that is national food security plan, or the mission, or that is national education policy. So like this, all the considerations are given a due examine and consideration by these departmental related committees. So important is that these committees having the four important duties, or the pillars of the functions, but at the same time they are not entertains to matters of day-to-day administration. So day-to-day administration is of the ministries or the departments are not that is fall under the ambit of these committees, but that is looked after the other committees, or that is looked after the departments by their own selves. So that is important. Now the what the parliament, this departmental committee on law and justice and personnel have provided the report. So that is what important we need to understand. And this particular departmental related committee on law, personnel, justice and grievances, headed by the Sushil Modi ji. We know the Sushil Modi ji, one of the prime figure in Indian politics, the former deputy chief minister of the Bihar, and he is now the Rajya Sabha member. So what were the highlights of their report tabled on the house, that is on the pendency of the cases. They of the view that how that CBI conviction of the cases rate came down while that pendency escalated, that is raised. So this is one of the figure they highlighted, that the data in the year committee of the view that in the year 2012, when they found that CBI CBI's investigation cases rate were at the culmination. They were at the peak. They were in the very good shape. In the year 712, they about 743 cases where conviction were took place. But year 2018, that came down to the 544. In the year 2019, that again came down to the 467. And the year 2020, the conviction of the cases that witnessed the one of the lowest figure in the history of CBI. So that is 169. That maybe probably the COVID was one of the era, that crisis that hampered all the activities, obviously including CBI. Probably these are the due to maybe that particular health issues that world faced, including India. But in the 2021, the case again conviction rate cases, that is 202. So it's a declining trend of the cases we can see that about the CBI. So this committee highlighted the working of the CBI and that need to be corrected. And what are the other issues they found with the CBI or pendency? That CBI probe pending in the till Jan 2022 till January 31, when they found that the pending is about 1025 cases. So the high pendency, and 66 cases that is languishing, that is still in the pendency, still in the limbo for more than 5 years. So 66 cases are still they are in the pendency, that is for the more than 5 years, and 19 under investigation cases stayed by the that Honorable Supreme Court and Honorable High Courts of the states. So these are the highlights of the this departmental related committee on the law and personal grievances and justice. So what are the recommends regarding this particular pendency and the low conviction cases rate that is by the CBI, in that need of increasing manpower by direct recruitment to post of DSP on inspectors rather than deputation or promotion. So the cadre strength of the CBI is about more than 450, but these all sub inspectors or inspector rank officers are not directly recruited, but they are came in the to perform the CBI's duty as a deputation or through the promotion. So this is something seen as a roadblock by and highlighted so that by this particular committee. Now the second highlighted issue as per the report of this committee is that the vacancies in the High Court. So again we all seen the issues with the, that is again in the spotlight on the working of collegium system and mechanism, as well as the frequent tussle we can witness between the Ministry of Law and as well as the collegium system or the FX body that recommends for the appointment of judges in the High Court and Supreme Court. So the important highlights, important issues are they are the view that strength of the High Court judges in India's that is in India we know that 25 High Courts are there as of the date, and that is 1108. So 1108 is the actual strength, but judges working or they are recruited or appointed are the just 778. So this is the huge gap between the that sanction strength or with these appointments. So judges to population ratio is deeply skewed. So that is highlighted by the committee, and to understand it better, they highlighted the report that is on December 2021. Then when 3 High Courts, that is Telangana, that Patna High Court, Bihar and Delhi High Court, the stark vacancies of the judges with more than 50%. Like Delhi, the total strength of judges are the 60. So not even 30 judges were there. So, but now it raised to the 46, including the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court. But at that time, at point of that time, December 2021, it even below the 30, that is less than 50%. So similarly with the Telangana and Patna was there. And the 10 high courts with the more than 40% that vacancies of the high court judges. So these are the issues. The cause of delay, they highlighted that is because of the non-adherence to timeline drawn by the second judges cases. So second judges cases is important. So now what are the recommendations? They of the view that adherence to second judges cases devise that memorandum of procedure, that what are the SOP or memorandum of procedure to be adopted, they highlighted that is by the second judges cases of the 1993. So this is 1990 to 93. So this was the second judges cases, and they highlighted that what should be the timeline and the same time timeline. This second judges cases highlighted the timeline as well as the collegium system. So they this committee reiterated that the collegium system as well as second judges cases, the judgment of that particular second judges cases of 1993 is need to be adhered, that to be looked as the one of the idea and concept that how to derive the functioning of a collegium system and as well as the Ministry of Law and Justice. And they need to strive for the dissolving stand of usual impasse can be seen between the collegium system and government. So they should go for the they highlighted that they should go for the out of the box thinking. So this is something out of the box thinking is required. So therefore it is important that for the interest of justice in country as well as for the interest of people of this country, that is need that there is the highly needed of that out of box thinking is one of the thing that need a address, that need a the specific attention. Now, what is the conclusive note? Obviously, DRC system is path-breaking endeavor, particularly to held accountable or responsible to, that is parliamentary surveillance over the administration. So this is the this committee system endeavors that pursues the check and balance mechanism, and the same time committee guide the working of executives. They give the directions and inputs, that precious inputs for the successful policy formulation as well as achievement of the goals and objectives of these ministries and departments. So that is very important. And the same time, now the previous question in the year 2013 when UPSC asked that consider the following statement: the parliamentary committees on public account, that is PAC committee, what were the question? If you read, please pose this question first. Consist of not more than 25 members of the Lok Sabha, scrutinizes, second statement scrutinizes appropriation of the finance accounts of the government, and the third statement is given examines the reports of CAG, that is Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So the choose the correct options given below. So options are 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 3 only, or 1 and 2 and 3 only. So please look at this and try to solve this question so that one can gaze its their own, his own or her own understanding regarding this particular committees. So before concluding the session, I would like to quote the John Dewey, the eminent political scientist and scholar of American scholar, he stated that, I quote, "A democracy is more than a form of government. It is primarily a mode of associated living, of conjointed communicated experience." So democracy is something that is not just this is pertaining to, or this is something irrelevant to the government formation, but this is something which needs a mutual and continued conversation, continued exchange of the ideas, reflections. So that is in order to make democracy a healthy, and that democracy that actually delivers the aspiration of the people. So this is something idea that is uh, in the opinion of the John Dewey, and he put provided in this form of quotation. So with this, I would like to thank you all. Thank you for having me.